Tracer and Genji and Reaper in the past, but it looks like both teams pretty comfortable with the DPS choices that they've made.
And this will actually be really interesting to see, because now that we're actually looking at, 20boink really kind of being on the fence right now, if they really want to kind of keep their lead and keep their place, this is where I start to talk about really the real mental fortitude, of both of these teams, as they start to, witness that fatigue. Dva1 Bad Guys 0 in their semifinals went to a best-of-3, so they already were kind of worn out. At the same time, though, you can also argue that they had a lot of the momentum on their side as they went into this, as they were just fresh out of a fight, ready to pick another one, and it looks like they're going to look for another one right here as Jesus takes out Failure, immediately taking out the front line of their team, but Blank returns it, right on Vero. Jesus, however, going to take out Kapow, as that makes it a double kill for him. 2 frags against none, both teams losing their front lines, and it looks like Ezix, however, is going to take out Nimily. Blank returns the kill on Cat, as Connor J takes it back on Blank. Now it looks like you have a Dan Twist is going to be moving out, able to get the hit and the frag out on Boink right now. Failure having to make it right back to his team, is trying to regroup and corral. Both teams right now are stunted, but it's like you said, it's going to be relying on 20boink on actually being able to corral his team together for an offensive push. It's going to be a lot easier for Dva1 Bad Guy 0 to return the favor and damage as it would be for 20boink. And we're starting to see now that mental fatigue. They cannot allow themselves to get too tired. Here they go again, arms race.
Miro goes in with the charge. YZX actually manages to take out Failure. Connor J gets into the back line and takes out Blank before the Transcendence goes down. The Dragon Blade's still going, and so Connor J is going to be able to pick up Disaster as YZX and Cat pick up the final kills to completely wipe the attackers off the face of the map here. Absolutely brutal. Pretty interesting, the Jesus opting to hide behind the corner there so that when the attackers approached, he diverted their focus, made it so that the front line wasn't a complete unit facing the defenders there, and they fell pretty quickly afterwards. But here comes a different train of attack. Graviton Surge comes down. It does catch out most of the blue team, and they're going to die very, very quickly here. May not choose that path ever again after being caught out so bad that time around.
You know what? I really liked what they were doing. I genuinely did. It was actually a really smart move. The only problem is that, I don't know, maybe if they had their cues off for a little bit, but 20boink and team, when they went off through the side, they didn't go off all at the same one, so they weren't really a ball. They were all kind of discombobulated and really kind of, really spread out, which allowed for that Earthshatter to hit really hard. And here they come again. They're popping in really hard as 20boink drops the damage mitigation as best they can, but it does not, in fact, save Kapow from getting picked off. But Boink and Disaster equally get their own frags as Connor J evens it up with the kill on Failure. Boink doing everything they can with a high-powered energy to get another kill. Ezix is actually going to take out Blank as Boink actually throws out the Torpusuk to take out Connor J. They don't get everything that they want, but they do get enough to take out some of the defense. It is now an even 3-4 or rather 3-3, but now 3-4 as Ezix and team right now with Zenyatta being the only one on the point. And this looks like 20boink is actually going to start securing, trying to hold off what they can from Vero on the team. The Torpusuk goes out, but are they going to be able to actually continuation with some follow-through? Offensive power doesn't really come out right now as Vero is finding himself going up against a disaster wall of tranquility and just heals after heals coming out. But right now, it looks like Dva1 Bad Guy 0 are slowly being able to funnel in as the ultimate power from 20boink actually, 20boink, in fact, actually starts to run out. It's going to force them to move back, but they need to make something happen really quick as they have less than a minute, moving on 35 seconds.
Yeah, 20boink wasn't able to secure a complete team wipe. They actually lost a few of their own team members, and so they didn't really have the full force of numbers they would have liked when it came to securing that point. And so they were forced off of it, but here comes the second engage. Speed boost goes down. Connor J takes out Failure, and so that's going to be a very weak front line here. YZX picks up 2. Jesus takes out Kapow, and the attackers are just falling down one after another. Nominally trying to stay alive, riding the wall there, but it's just not going to be enough. Connor J finishes off Blank, and there will be no one alive in time to make it to this final point. And in a very impressive showing on the side of Dva1 Bad Guy 0, they are going to be able to stave off the attack from 20boink and take this win in our second round here of our finals.
Yeah, but just like, there's not going to be a best of 3 here. It is, in fact, going to go to the third round, however.